Hello, just joined us in the call. Oh, I know that is. All right, who just joined the me?
Elder TV.
All right. Who's that?
Elder TD.
Hey, Elder TD, how you been, brother?
All right, but I've been down for the last 2 weeks, brother.
Oh, yeah?
I got sciatica.
Oh, it's Attica.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. We got a few other brothers on the call now. So give them time to log in. If anybody's on, if you want, you can chime in. 7 people on the line. Here we go. How's everybody else doing? Deacon Emery.
What's up, D?
What's up, Bernard?
Oh, man, just hanging in there, man.
Hanging in there. I see you look like you famished on the couch.
Huh?
You look a little famished on the couch.
Yeah, man. Sitting in my lounge chair, man.
Uh-huh.
Just relaxing, bro. How everything going?
Everything's going well so far.
Okay.
We got a couple of brothers on. If y'all can chat for a few while we wait for other people to join us.
Yeah, the bishop supposed to be on here?
Yeah, he's gonna be on. He'll probably be on probably midway. Yeah, he's definitely be on. This year, got a couple more people in the waiting room. Let them in.
Okay.
I see Michael Washington. Where you at, Mike? All right. I see Mr. Medina.
You been staying safe, man?
Absolutely. I'm supposed to go out this week to look at one of my projects, but it got moved to next week.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to get out of that as well. It's just an inspection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, brother Mike, how you doing?
How's it going? How y'all doing?
Hanging in there, brother Mike.
Hanging in there. Give the brothers some time to log on.
Angel, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? What's up, brother?
Y'all can chat for a few minutes before we get started.
Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, man. I'm tired of this house, man. Man, I get in my car and just ride around the block, man.
Well, you could go to the park tomorrow if you want.
No, bro. You see my bike, right?
I don't blame you.
They keep sending me message from Retro, right? I'm like, man, I'm 7 years in. I don't have no contract with y'all guys, man. I ain't coming back there.
Ain't coming back there.
No, man.
I said, I'm done.
See Brother Gerald on it.
I'm done with that gym for a while, man. Too many people.
Yeah, brother. They don't got the cure. They guessing. They still guessing.
Yeah, and before the virus came, they wasn't wiping down no equipment. You know they ain't gonna wipe down nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I used to watch them, man. They should get off the treadmill. Don't wipe down nothing. Sign right there say wipe down the machine when you leave.
They ain't wipe down nothing.
Them cats get down, jump on another machine, man. I be like, man, I be I have got me a whole handful of tissue, man. The spray bottle, I spray it down, man. So
Yeah,
you
brother
know.
Jerry.
Oil it up.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, Gerald. Hey, good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
man, take my hat off, bro.
No.
Deacon McCurry on there. How you doing, Dick? Minister McCurry.
Not
Come on,
doing
take
it
my
right.
hat off, bro. Huh?
Also, Deacon McCurry's audio is off. I don't know if he meant to be off or not.
Everybody's staying safe, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man.
Dwayne Boone.
I know,
Sure.
man. My town is 1,400 in my town is tested positive. And the mayor and the top man, they having a hard time. Those cats don't want to stop gathering together, man. And those,
Right.
these cats be I saw on Facebook, them cats was in a room, man. 17 people in one room, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Regular.
See that funeral in
What's going
Brooklyn?
on? What's going on?
People?
What's going on, Hawkins?
Hey, Gatewood. We don't see your face, Gatewood.
What's up?
Hey, brother Boone.
I see you in your vehicle.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, we're doing all right. Hey, brother Boone, I'm not used to you with that beard, man.
Yeah, man. Rough out here.
I know, man. I was just telling my wife I'm about to cut my whole mustache off.
I waited too long for this to grow, man. I can't cut it off yet.
Giving out money, Minister McCurry. I see you flashing some money in front of the camera.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the gas station.
Huh?
You say give it to the gas station?
Straight with the gas station.
My mustache so thick, man. I be getting the scissors. I be clipping. 1 week it look good. 1 week it's crooked. My barber called me up. He talking about he do house service. I told him that's okay.
He said, you good for right now.
I wouldn't trust it either.
He talking about, hey, Deke, you need me to stop by? I said, no, I'm good, man.
He said, you good?
I'm good.
You know how much they charge, don't you?
I ain't gonna give him a chance to charge me, man.
Right.
They charge about $50. That's my dude, TD, right there. TD.
We got 2 millers in the house.
Oh, man. My barber said he gonna stop by. I said, man, you crazy. Stay where you at, man.
He gonna force his way in there.
Yeah. Man, stay where you at, man. He had to go get him a night job. Nobody ain't letting him cut it.
Nobody letting him cut, huh?
No, he told me, he texted me to my Deke. He told me, Deke, I'm working nights, man. That's okay, man.
Try to see if you're gonna give in. That's why.
No, man, not me, man.
Get that.
That's too much closeness, man. Right on my mustache, breathing over me. No, man. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. I'm laughing, man, but I'm serious.
I know you're serious.
Gerald, take your hat off. Let me see what you got up there, man.
Negative,
I ain't got
bro.
nothing up there, man.
I'm talking about Gerald.
This thing right here, in the middle, bro, it ain't growing right. So I let y'all see
Gerald. Come on, I'm out here exposed, man. Come on, Gerald.
I'm exposed too.
You gotta pay for the
brother.
penny,
George
man.
Jefferson, that's why.
Yo, I got my George Jefferson working, bro.
Come on, man.
You
You got your Sherman on? You ain't got a penny.
Oh, I got my George Jefferson working, bro. I'm good.
You ought to be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, George. I mean, Gerald.
That's my man, George.
We can't hear you.
Oh, man.
We can't hear you.
Y'all guys got to forgive me, man. I'm running on low fume right now. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, man.
You should see a button that either says allows you to
You still, Dick, you still on the go, huh?
Yeah, man.
You supposed to be chilling right about now, man. You ain't supposed to be out there like that.
Man, my wife worked, man. I don't work. I was in ShotRite with the senior citizen, man. 6 o'clock this morning, man.
Bruh.
Yeah, stay in that line.
I was walking behind the seniors this morning, man.
But now there's an audio button. You got to activate your audio.
Shoot.
Hey, Mike, I ain't trying to be rude. Yo, what's
you on your computer?
that mess you sitting on? I don't know what you laying on.
Get a picture of a microphone.
Me?
They can't hear.
Yo, he laying on the right one. He laying on the right one, man.
I seen some trash in your chair you sitting on.
No,
Yo,
bro. It's all day.
See that mess?
Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him.
That's all
Hey,
day
brother
right
Mike,
now.
what you think about that linebacker?
Yo,
Who's that?
I think it was a
What you
good
think
pick.
about that pickup we did this season
I think it was
on
a
the
good pick.
draft?
I think it
Oh,
was a good pick, D.
You saw the Cowboys?
No,
Giants.
Giants.
No, everybody know the Cowboys drafted 8. Everybody know the Cowboys draft was immaculate, yo. So we ain't worried about that.
Oh, Lord.
We talking about them Giants, man.
I'm talking about the Cowboys. We should do it.
Who you talking about, D?
The Giants, man.
Oh,
Yo, he don't know
the,
hey, Mike, he don't know what he's talking about, man. He don't know what he's talking about. What you talking about?
Hey, brother Mike,
Don't
who
be
you with, man?
disrespecting, yo.
The Cowboys?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No. I'm
I
Giants
thought
fan.
you're a Giant, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm the Cowboy fan.
Oh,
D?
I was
You're a
say,
Cowboys fan.
That guy with all his hair on his head. That's the Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
y'all don't talk too loud. Deacon Miller might come on.
Who that?
Don't talk
Yeah,
too
he's
loud,
one too.
y'all. Y'all might get him to come on.
Who's Darren?
He wanted to.
Darren?
Yeah, Deacon
right.
Miller come on. It's a rap,
Y'all ain't
man.
gonna be jumping me. Let me text him right now.
Yeah,
No,
you
don't do that,
Let
man.
me text
do
him.
that.
Let me text him right now.
I'm on the line.
That's all right.
If Deacon
He'll get it
Miller
later.
come on there, then his wife
Hey,
gonna get on
there's
there.
the audio.
She gonna tell y'all everything. And some of these guys, I don't know
We
who
can
on
see
this
you.
film, man. Who's the other guy, man? Who's you, man? Who's that?
Hey, Deacon Gatewood,
He said, who,
his mic ain't on.
who is that? Why you ain't just say, what's your name? He like, who is you?
I ain't seen you in so long, Deke.
Hey, Deacon Gatewood. I'm translating for Deacon Gatewood because he called me in the phone. He don't know how to set up his audio on
Hey,
the
Deacon Emery.
device.
Yeah, what's up?
I ain't seen you in so long, man. I didn't know who you was, man.
Yeah, man. How you doing, yo?
I'm all right, man.
What's up, D?
I was
Hey,
talking
what's
to
up,
I
Bishop
didn't know
How
that
you
was
doing
on
now?
that first either.
I was talking to Bishop this morning. I said to myself, man, when I come back to church, I'm gonna have glove, mask, everything on, man.
Yo, AD, did that fumigate the church yet?
No, they coming in soon. I
When is
meet with
soon?
them next week.
He said, "What is soon?"
They're coming in next week. They're coming in next
Coming
week.
in next week?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
That's good.
What's up with this dick? You lost you.
You still there? We see you.
All right,
Okay.
anyway, we're gonna get started.
Y'all gotta keep me up on this stuff, man.
Say what's up to each other, see each other. I know we out of communication, out of touch, but not out of communication. So just want to have an opportunity for the men to get together. Bishop's going to join us, shortly, and just kind of chance to update, men, what we're doing, where we are. Also, to just think about some of the things we want to do when we come back on the other side of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I see my brother Dennis Peterson. Can you hear us?
Yes.
You
Can
mind starting our
Hey,
call
Pastor.
with prayer as the
God
senior
bless you. How are you?
pastor on the call?
Doing good, sir.
And I have Deacon Gatewood. He has to listen by phone. So if you can't start us off, open up with prayer if you don't mind.
You me?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's all
Heavenly
right.
Father, we thank you tonight for allowing us to even gather and to be here with such a hectic schedule. God, we thank you for these men that are separated socially, but we're not separated in spirit. We bless you. We thank you tonight for the leader and for all of these great men of God. And we ask you to let this time of sharing be profitable and let it be to your glory. We ask this in your name. Amen.
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 Hey, Bishop, you turned sideways.
Am I turned sideways? Is that better?
Oh, they go Bishop. Hey, Bishop.
Hey, Bishop.
Bless
Hey,
everybody.
I want to thank Pastor
Hey,
Peter.
Bishop.
Praise the
Starting
Lord.
off the
Bishop.
call.
How you doing?
What's up, man? What's up?
Bishop.
Before I get started, I just want to identify who's on the phone because there's a couple of people who logged in, and the only thing I see is a phone number or the type of device you're using. So I don't want to leave anybody out. So I'm just going to call out who's on the call. If I didn't say your name, please let me know. I see Brother Bernard Jackson. Somebody's on the Galaxy E20. I see Gerald Miller,
Yes, sir.
Brother Marlon,
I'm on.
Pastor Gilyard. Deacon Gate was online, but his audio's not working, Bishop. So you're not gonna be able to hear from him too much.
Oh,
I know you're gonna miss that opportunity.
Good Lord Jesus, what we gonna do tonight?
Pastor Peterson.
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
There you go.
Oh, I
We couldn't
forgot.
hear it.
It's worth 1,000 words.
He
Coming
found
through on
it.
my phone.
We need to mute our phones now.
Tell Jackson I said a picture is worth 1,000 words.
All right, I think you heard
Camera.
me.
Back up from the camera.
That's all he gonna get from me.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, Deacon. Hold on a bit. Deacon, I'm going through attendance. Hold on. Deacon Gate was online. Brother Michael Washington, Brother Angel Medina, T.D. Miller, Darren Block. Let me see. Blockmello. Darren Blockwright Miller just joining us. You see, just coming in. And Brother Marlon Davis, Deacon Dow, Emery. Did I leave anybody out? Did I miss anybody?
You call Pastor Peterson?
Yes, he
Yes.
called me.
For Pastor Peterson.
And Mr. Boone is here too, somewhere.
Boone, Dwayne Boone,
Yes.
and Michael Washington and Blockwriter. just
Wayne
joined us.
is shade.
Hey, brothers.
I'm gonna come over there.
I'm going to be Deacon in a minute.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, Deacon. You echo.
That's
But
your
again,
partner.
I just want to thank everybody for taking the opportunity to come out to join us. Just wanted to have the opportunity for the men to get together and to continue what we started with the men's fellowship. I feel like we're going in a great direction, and particularly leading with the pastor to will for us to do things in the church and be more active. So I wanted to come together, and I invited some of the younger men to come on. Some of them may come on later because I wanted to really focus on getting the young men incorporated into, not just what we do as the men's ministry, but, just to be active in the church, kind of find out what's on their hearts and minds. And we have several of them that we'll probably get on, eventually. Again, because we have a lot of activities. And
Put my glasses on, I can see better.
hold on. I'm going to put the Deke. I'll put you on the mute for a minute, Deke.
Yeah, pretty good.
And again, we have a lot of young men between the ages, I would say 12 and say 20, mid-20s that are high school, college, and they don't seem to be anything really happening for them. So I really wanted them to get on to kind of share with us what's on their hearts and their minds and their thoughts and their spirit in terms of what's happening with church, what they like to see happen for them, what kind of issues they may be facing, and just be an example to them and be mentors to them. And so that's one of the things I want to do with this call, but also I wanted us, like I said, they come together. We haven't seen each other, haven't really been in fellowship, since this pandemic started, and also to check on each other to make sure everybody's all doing well, to be able to help anybody if they need help. We're going to share some ideas in the call. Pastor's going to share some words. But again, the whole purpose of us coming together is really to fellowship and really focus on it. I know one of the things that happens in a time like this is when you kind of have time to just sit around and think, is really an opportunity for all of us to kind of hit the restart button, whether it's reading more, whether it's getting more into the word, whether it's praying more, all the things that God wants us to do to be more spiritual, more spiritually connected. And I found that's been the case for me. I've been definitely internalizing more things, and also what it's forcing a lot of people to do is to really find out what their purpose and their passion is, because people are becoming real creative in this time because they know on the other side of this, maybe they won't be as dependent on a job or dependent on other people and other things. So we all have to kind of internalize and think about what life can look like for each of us on the other side, because it's going to be very different in terms of social distancing and and just how we rate, how we do business, how we communicate. So this gives us an opportunity, like I said, to refocus on what the men's ministry, the mission of the men's ministry. I know it's on Bishop's heart that, we basically just be, faithful servants and help bring men to the church, not necessarily to the church, but bring men to, be delivered. And so there's some things we want to do outside of the church as well. And we have some new brothers that have joined us that have a lot of ideas. They have a lot of things they want to do. They're very anxious to get started. They're passionate about what they do. You're going to hear from some of them a little later. And so during the course of the call, again, we're going to get an opportunity for anybody who wants to share their thoughts and feelings. If the young men do come on, we're going to have them speak. We're going to ask people to share their ideas in terms of what they like to see happen. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about, some of the things we had planned for the early part of the year. We'll just have to move those plans further out. But again, just really thinking about being more committed, not just to the men, but to the church, to our people, to our families, to our communities. And that's going to give us opportunity. So I'm going to turn over the mic to Deacon Gatewood. I'm just joking. We'll get one later. But I want to turn the call over to our bishop. I know he has some words and just an opportunity. If you have questions about what's happening, I know people questioning God during this time. Why is these things happening? Every time something happens, I look at it, there's a reason for it, and I accept it because it's God's will, not our will. And again, you have to look at what can be done, rather than wishing things were better. I just wish I was better instead of, what I meant to say is rather than wishing things were easier, my motto is I just, become better at what I need to do to go forward. So with that, I want to introduce and bring on, I don't know if any of you saw the video a couple of weeks ago, Brother Chris, Minister Chris sent out a challenge for us to, just say something to send a message to Bishop. And some of us sent it in, and I had indicated that Bishop is the most incredible bishop in the world. And one of the things I said was, even the way he dresses, he's so sharp that he was on the cover of Time. He was actually on the cover of a magazine as the best dresser, and it was just based on his shadow. That's our head bishop. Just wanted to give everybody something to laugh and smile about. But on serious note, here is our bishop. Take over, Bishop. I'm here.
Hey guys, appreciate you guys for taking out time to chime in, and we're not going to hold you a long time. Be intentional with our call tonight. I do want to celebrate Deacon Hawkins for taking the initiative and just being so pointed and trying to keep us together. Everybody here? Everybody good?
Amen.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
That was Gatewood. I got him on mute.
Okay, yeah, you may have to put Deacon Gatewood on mute for a little bit so we can get through this. But I love everybody. I miss everybody. And again, it is just a joy to be together. When you look at where we are in this pandemic and this issue that has hit our earth and hit New Jersey really, really hard in particular, I'm sure everybody on the line knows someone that has been whether tested positive or has transitioned. I think I was counting, I'm up to about 38, if my number is right. I'm up to about 38 people that I knew personally that have died since March 15th. And so it has really hit me personally, emotionally. And what I want us to wrap our minds around, and then I heard Deacon Hawkins talking about plans and things, but we really have to wrap our mind around how we're going to do what we're going to do going from here. It is going to be totally different, probably for the next 12 to 18 months before we can really come back. I know we'll be back in church before then, but really go back to some sense of normalcy with our lives. So we're going to have to adapt. And I'm going to say this really quick. Being that adaptability is really a gift from God to the human race. You can look at people that live in the coldest climates and people that live in the hottest climates, people that live well. I went to Ethiopia and I saw some of the poorest people, living, and I was just amazed. They were happy, they were content, they were good because they had adapted to their environment. So adaptability can be a blessing and it can be a curse because I said something about it on Facebook, because if you adapt to a point where you get stuck, and you're not able to expand. So what this season has done, it has stretched us. It's definitely a stretch me with technology. I've never been trying to figure out all this stuff as much as I have.
Exactly.
Everything. It's just stretching us. It's making us grow. It's making us learn. So you have to see this as a learning opportunity. What can I grow in? What can matter of fact, I'm just now looking at something called Masterclass, looking to see about getting on it and becoming a somewhat online student again. I've got all this time. I probably have more than a month because most people are not going to go back immediately to having revivals and conferences. So y'all guys might be stuck with me being home for the rest of the year, to be honest, because people are not going to be acclimating so quick. So I know I'm not going to be back on that road like that. So my point is, while you have time, if you have that time, make decisions that's going to sharpen yourself, that you don't get stuck. Look for ways to stretch yourself, and to understand as men of God that you have to be accountable. You have to work in the component of understanding your posture and your position as a watchman on the wall for your family. We never want you to forget the importance of being a watchman and being able to see for your wives, for your children, for your neighborhood, for children that look up to you. You got nieces and nephews that their fathers may not be in their life, and somewhat you become a father figure. So all of these things are vital, that while we're in this season that we begin to stretch ourselves, because we may not be able to go have a fellowship. We may not be able to go bowling. We may not be able to do a lot of things. All conferences, we were going to, iron sharpen iron. Everything has been canceled, and we don't know when. We definitely won't be able to go to no football games. They're talking about that kind of stuff way into 2021 before they bring masses of people back together. So what do we do now? So it is vital that we understand that we adapt. But in that being able to adapt, that we don't find ourselves getting stuck, don't find yourselves getting bored. Let's be real, brothers. Boredom really is the enemy's tool. You have to find ways to keep yourself engaged in life, engaged with your family. You don't want this time for the enemy to pull you into any other kind of activities and situations and things, because this is that time when we are vulnerable, when we're open, when we're bored, when we're trying to figure out what to do with our time. That seeds can be planted in our mind that will lead us astray and have us messing up and doing things that we really don't need to do. So we want to stay contained. We want to stay pure. We want to stay faithful for those that are married, faithful to your wives, committed to your children, committed to your assignment, and not allow the enemy to plan anything. I don't even know. Some of you may be home or working from home. A lot of guys, you're still out. You got to do what you got to do. But if you were home, maybe your wife's home more. So you've got to know how to adjust to the fact that your wife is in your presence a whole lot more than what she used to be. There's no store for her to go shop in. There's no mall open. So there's no hanging out with the girlfriends at the restaurant. So she's home, and you've got to be able to not allow that to rub you the wrong way. Monitor how you speak to each other, that you're not getting on each other's nerves, and knowing how to be open and honest and speak to each other when you need space and when you do need your own moment. And prayerfully, she will understand that. And the way you present it is vital. So I'm just trying to say all of this so that we can adjust, because we're all adjusting. I've never been in my house this much. I've never, it's bad when I'm just going to Home Depot because I want to get out the house. That's bad. So that's kind of where my life has evolved to. I've never been at Home Depot this much, but it's just everything around my house that I've been putting off and not having time to do, just doing it all because there's a lot of time on my hand. Now, y'all can be deep. Y'all can be on the mountain. I'm going to be real. I pray every day. I study every day. But even after that, there's only so much praying and studying you can do. You got hours and hours and hours. I know y'all don't want to be real, but I'll say it for me. After a while, oh, go pray. No, I prayed already. I've read my Bible already. So I need to know how to occupy my mind and occupy my hands, okay? That my hands do not move in the wrong area, occupy my feet, that my feet do not walk into mischief. So these are the kind of things that you've got to pull yourself together, pull your mind together. And as your bishop, I'm telling you straight, just saying, oh, let's pray and read the Bible and all that's going to work for a while. But you've got to expand yourself to understand that as much as I am spiritual, I am also physical. I am also emotional. I am also mental. What is man that thou art so mindful of him? And even the Son of Man that you visited him. That's what the psalmist said. You have made him lower than the angel, but yet you have crowned him. And so the whole component is there are so many dimensions to us as men. And a lot of times women can pull it all out, lay it all out. But we are onions. There is layers to us. We cover this, we cover that, we cover that. But if the truth be told, if we pull the layers back, there are many, many dimensions to us. So as men, we are physical, we are mental, we are spiritual, we are emotional, all of those components. So work on those things while you have this time. As Deacon Harkins said, grow and expand your mind, expand your heart. And so I don't want us to get hooked on what we're going to do when we just come back together, because it's going to be different. Talked to Deacon Jackson today, so we're going to need not just the deacons, but we're going to need men, because we're going to have to socially distance to a degree. We can't do 6 feet, but we've got to skip a person between each person. We've got to sit it where nobody is sitting in front of somebody now. There's just so many dynamics that are going to change when we come back together. We're going to have people get up and walk out uniformly and come in uniformly, that they're not sitting around lingering and talking like they used to. If there's going to be talking, they have to do that on their own in the parking lot or something of that nature. So there's so many changes that we're going to have to make. The biggest thing I want to say to us tonight, please do not think when they release us to go back, we're just going to turn the light switch on and we're going to go back to our normal lives the way it was. Everybody that want to get back to normal, may I tell you, probably for the next 12, 18 months, this is the new normal. To a degree, this is the new normal. And so we have to adapt, but we don't want to adapt to the point of getting stuck. So that's kind of my heart. We're going to start a renaissance. I pray you have received a letter from me. If you've not, if your household has not received a letter, you should be getting it tomorrow or Monday. I sent a letter out to everybody, just wanting to make a personal touch. Even tonight, I'm on this line because I just want you guys to know I am praying for you. I love you. I am here for you. Anything that I can do to help you through this season, I'm here. So again, what's the takeaway from my talk? It's just understanding adaptability can be a gift and it can be a curse. It can be a blessing. It can use it as a blessing. Don't let it be a curse in your life where you find yourself being stuck. Be cautious to understand your dimensions and the many sides of you. Be careful how you handle your wife and your children in this season. They are vulnerable, they are open. Be careful how you talk to them, how you handle them. Some of them are maybe afraid or just at a place of not knowing. Some of us might be a little shaky. I over this last month, guys, there's some seasons my days I just got shaky. I'm gonna be honest. I went to sleep. So many people were dying. I went to sleep and just wondering if I was going to wake up the next morning. And it wasn't so much that I was sick or didn't feel good, but I just could feel the spirit of death walking on the land. And I just like, Lord, if it be your will, wake me up in the morning. If not, so be it. But we made it through. And so we want to be able to just continue to bond. And this may be a format of new men's fellowship. It may not be the element of being able to hang out and be together. We're socially distant, but we have to remain spiritually connected. So pray for one another, lift each other up, and let's make the best of it. And know that God is still on the throne. He's still sitting in heaven, and he's going to do what he's going to do. I wanted to take a few minutes, and I don't want to monopolize the call tonight, but I wanted to take a few minutes and to ask you, and I spoke to Deacon Hawkins about it. Just a sidebar, always a teaching moment. Learn just because you have authority don't mean you're in control, and I hope you count that. Authority don't mean you're in control. Authority sometimes means you're directing others. I've given responsibility to Deacon Hawkins to be in charge of the men's ministry. And it's just a teaching moment, sidebar teaching moment. So as the pastor, I talked to him to find out what was this call about and where I could fit in and what I could do, because I want to respect him as a man and respect him even in the position that I've given. And I shared my heart, and he said, yeah, that's good. And I want you to catch that. Just because you're the top dog don't mean you're in charge and you're running it all. So always respect other people's position and authority, and especially if you have given those people position and authority, it goes a long way. So what I wanted to do really quick was to open the floor for maybe less than 10 minutes, because you have other things you want to talk about, and to just ask you guys, is there anything you wanted to ask me, say to me? And I hope you'll be transparent. Anybody's just been in a I don't know moment, what's going on, and not that I have the answer, but just an element of being able to say, if I could ask the pastor this, I want to ask him. There is no bad question. There is no stupid question. The only bad one is the one that's not asked. And it may not even be a question. It just may be a statement that you would like for me to elaborate on. It can be something dealing with COVID, the crisis, the times, how we're going to manage what we're going to do. So I'm going to give this over to Deacon Hawkins, because he's somewhat the host and managing the call. So Deacon, would you take that part on and just kind of monitor and see if the brothers have any questions or any statements or anything that they would just like to say to me as their pastor, ask me, say something. I'm willing to do this for a few minutes, and then I'll let you all continue your plans for tonight.
Certainly.
Anybody?
Yep, I like to open, like I said, open the floor to anybody has a question. Last time we had to call, one of the things that we did was, there were some brothers that we didn't know that were either sick or going through some stuff, and so we allowed them to share how they were doing. But if you have a question for Bishop, anything you want to share with him, even if it's a comment that he can comment on, it's an opportunity for you to go ahead. So the floor is open. I can see everybody's screen. I don't know everybody know if there's a view where you can see every other person, everybody that's on the call. You click on the speaker view, you'll see a bunch of little boxes together. This way you can see everybody at the same time. So who's first?
I mean, if they don't, it's cool.
Right.
Oh, can you hear me now, Derek?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Deke.
Okay, all right.
You have a question for the pastor?
Hey, Pastor, how you doing? Let me get back. I'm out of touch. Let me get back. Okay, Derek, I see you. Is Pastor there still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Question for him?
Okay, all right. Well, like you said, I'm glad you said that there's not any dumb questions. Only dumb question is the question never asked. And on a serious note, I'm not only seeing this as the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, but I was wondering, should we be focusing on, at this time, the rapture? Should we be focusing on the tribulation? Should we be focusing on the mark of the beast? What is your sight on this precious time, what we're facing?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, Dee. If you all will watch me on Sundays, if you're watching me or able to really follow, you will see that every week I address that. I address the fact that I don't believe God sent COVID because, again, I am of the understanding from Scripture, you cannot give anything that you are not. So God does not have death in him. He does not have misery in him. He is life. But what I do believe is that as our protector, he lifts his hand and allows things to happen to fulfill biblical prophecy. We are in the last days. So the question that's being asked is about the question of eschatology, which is the study, the study of last things. So as we are in the last days, yes, I will just say yes to you, and we're going to get deeper into it in Bible study, that this is in line with the last days. And when you hear me preach, I will say, while everybody is trying to figure out what this is, why is this, very few people are simply just putting out Jesus is on his way back. And this is the setup. So you have to see the scripture. Scripture says, when you hear these things, look up. Your redemption draweth now. Another part says, the end is not yet, but it is the travailing. It is the beginning of the end of time. So I don't want anybody, we always should live already because we just never know. It doesn't have to be the rapture. It can be death. It can be your personal rapture. You can be snatched out of here. So I don't want to put you at an easy point. Oh, I got a long time, just do what I want to do. But by the same token, we're not to create hysteria and fear that we're like running around saying the sky is falling. Yes, definitely. It is in line with biblical prophecy of the end times. But again, this is the beginning that moves us. Pestilence, famine, wars, rumors of wars, all of these things are going on, and they've been going on even before COVID. But COVID is the most obvious and the most inclusive point of something hitting the earth where everybody is impacted. So a good question, Dee. Yes, it is in line. Again, it is not saying that it's going to happen tomorrow, and it could happen tomorrow. It could happen tonight. But COVID, this is a pestilence that has been released on the earth, and we are not. That's why I'm on the angle. Do not look to go back to your normal life, because we're not going back there. Because soon as they figure out COVID, it's going to be something else. It's going to be something else. We are probably living in the generation that we really, really will see the coming of Jesus. All right?
Wow. That's good, Bishop.
Yeah.
I put everybody on mute for a minute because there was some background noise. I didn't know where it's coming from. So if you have background noise, just keep your mic on mute until you speak. But that was a good question. Anyone else?
Anybody else?
Comment, their thoughts.
Okay.
I have one. Nobody before Bishop. I have a question because I know that the responsibility that you have to manage and to lead such a large flock, and like I said, I when I have even just one death or one issue to deal with family members, it could be just one or two. How overwhelming it could be just for one person to manage all of that stuff. If somebody has a background noise, if you have background noise, just put your phone on mute until you're ready to speak, to keep the noise level down. And so my question to you, Bishop, is what you have to do multiplies what we have to do. In I'm not sure how you do it. You probably need a cape, but how do you manage to, like I said, with all the deaths and everything else on a daily basis? How do you manage to get through those challenges?
Okay. Yeah, you probably can mute everybody again, Dee, because somebody may not realize it's their phone that's doing that background noise. Good question again. So personally, and I hope this doesn't bore you guys. Personally, there at Bethlehem, Judah, we have 4 members to transition. We have 4. I preached probably about 7 or 8 funerals, but we have 4. Just so you can get the gist of it, I don't know how Sister Cheryl Page, I don't know how she got her doctors to call me. I don't know how. I am still trying to figure out. I'm sitting in the funeral home with another family planning a funeral. And this number keeps coming up on my phone and I don't know who it is. And in the midst of all this death, I finally, as my effort to try to pay attention to that family that I'm sitting with, that I don't want them to feel my phone is more important than sitting with them at that crucial hour. But I had to, because it was just a call after a call after a call after a call. And I said, excuse me, I have to take this because this number keeps coming up and I'm not familiar with it. It was a doctor at the hospital that says, I'm looking for Bishop Anthony Gilyard. I said, this is he. I'm Dr. So-and-so. He says, you have a parishioner by the name of Cheryl Page, and I'm calling you to let you know she's not going to make it. Now, you have to understand, I didn't even know Sister Cheryl was in the hospital until that Sunday. This is like Tuesday or Wednesday of that same week. I didn't even know she was in the hospital. And when I did find out, I was informed she would probably be okay. Long story short, I don't know how. It baffles me. She said that the doctor says, she has to talk to you. She wants to talk to you before she died. And I'm just like, oh my God, what in the world is going on here? And I said, just put me on speaker. And I just spoke out to her, I prayed, and I said, Sister Cheryl, we love you, da-da-da-da-da, Then the phone rung again. I hung up, went back in, the phone rung again. I went out, and at that point, I guess, I don't know how, she must have let them know she couldn't hear me, and she wanted to talk to me. So a kind nurse, I don't know who, a kind nurse called me back on their phone and actually took the phone and put it to Sister Cheryl Page's ear. And all I could hear was her gasping for air. All I could hear was her trying to mumble a few words out. And I said, I love you, Sister Cheryl. I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of getting chills because I just have never had that experience. And to be honest, my pastoral training in school and Bible college, none of that prepared me for that moment. I just was mentally zapped at that moment. And to when I went back in the funeral home, my hand was literally shaking like this with my phone in, and I didn't even know. So everybody was like, what's wrong? What happened? And I said, no, I'm good, because I'm always trying to be the balancer. I never want to strike anxiety with nobody. And I'm shaking like this, honestly, holding my phone, and I don't even know it. And they said, look at your hand. And my hand was going like this because the stress of that phone call was just so overwhelming. Like, what do you say and what do you do when somebody's taking their last breath, and their last breath, their request is to speak to you? What do you say? That ain't the moment to be like, oh, I'm praying for you, everything gonna be all right. God, it just was an overwhelming moment that I would never, ever, ever forget. I could be 102 and I have Alzheimer's, and I believe I will remember that moment because it was that kind of impact to my body and to my emotions and to everything about me. And by midnight that night, that was Tuesday or Wednesday, and by midnight that night, she was gone. 7:30 to be exact. I take that back. 7:30, because I didn't find out till about midnight, but 7:30. That was 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And by 7:30 at night, she was gone. So you have to understand, even with that, Sister Cheryl had her problems, a few mentally challenged. And when she was on her meds, she was good. So I've had to work with her and get on her and fuss at her and do a lot of things. But Sister Cheryl was Sister Cheryl. She actually became a staple there at the church. Y'all all know the door didn't open and she wasn't there. You know, whether catch the bus, walk 20 blocks, whatever she had to do. So, you know, the consistency of her presence is going to be obviously missed. And then it was bad because her sons are not believers. One of them are like a black Hebrew guy or whatever. So they're really far-fetched. They're, you know, they don't believe in nothing, like nothing. So with that, they wouldn't let me come see her at the funeral home. They wouldn't let me have words over her. They wouldn't let me pray. I said, could I come to the cemetery and commit the body? They would let me do nothing. So as a pastor who have known her all the way from being at Wells Cathedral when we were members, it's like that soul and that life and that presence is just snatched. So I had no closure. You know, everybody else, I got to go and see them in the casket. I had a sense of closure. I had a moment to hug the family and work with the family, sit and help them plan. You know, and for a pastor, that's my closure. My closure as a pastor, to answer your question, I'm sorry if I took too long, but I wanted to give you the whole gist of that. My closure as a pastor, if someone dies, is to give care to that family that's left. So as I give care to them, my mental state and my whole being is able to come together, because as a pastor, when I can't care for the individual that's in transition, I transfer that care to their family. And so for Sister Cheryl, it was difficult because the family would not allow me to care. They did not want anything that I had to offer in that regard. So it made it very difficult for me in that idea. So I went through sleepless nights. You know, Bishop Cahoon was at the point of death. Only God turned him around. Again, Bishop Cahoon called me on a Tuesday night to say bye. And I'm just trying to take my time so you guys will understand the depth of this. He's on the phone. I can't even understand him. He's saying bye. He's saying, thank you. You've been an excellent son. I love you. Follow the protocols of the church. Whatever the church tells you to do, that's what you do. He said the same thing to his daughters. His daughters called me screaming at the top of their voice, Daddy's going to die. He just called us and said stuff about his funeral and blah, blah, blah. So I'm happen to be the strength, not just to Bethlehem, Judah, but to a whole jurisdiction of over 20-some churches. Because now everybody is looking to me. What's up with Bishop? Is he going to make it? I'm getting calls and texts. So my phone would go off at 1 o'clock in the morning. Something's going on with Bishop. They're putting him in ICU. They're doing this. They got to put him on oxygen. So for like 2 weeks, my whole body was just in shock. Like, literally, my body was just, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, and I hope y'all don't judge me. It got to the point that I had to talk to a doctor, and the doctor had to prescribe medicine for me. And so for a minute, I was on Xanax or whatever they call it, because my mind could not chill, because I had everything coming at me. Pastors were dying, people, I mean, House of Prayer in Orange, people died. House of Prayer in Plainfield, people died. Morristown, people died. And because people couldn't get to Bishop, every time somebody died, not that they looked for me to come to a funeral, but they called me, and the weight of that just kept compounding and compounding. And so please don't, you know, I hope y'all don't leave the church, but you know, I was praying and I was reading the Bible, but I had to take some medicine so I could sleep, that my nerves could get balanced out, because I was just all over the place. And that became the open door for the enemy to attack my mind and just say, I know you don't think all these people around you gonna die and you gonna live, you know? And it'd be like, you may not be in the hospital, but you just gonna go to sleep one night and you ain't gonna wake up. So I had to process that. And then when I go out, I had to still be strong. So I preach funerals for people I don't know, family members, just every and anything. But when you walk in this assignment, you have to know that God will grace you to get through it. So I'm good now, you know, don't think I'm a drug addict. I'm not taking the pills no more. I just needed them for that week. So I'm good, but it's just that element of me as a leader. I will always be open and transparent with you, even if I make a mistake and not walk the way I should. Nobody's gonna have to tell you. I'm gonna always tell my story and own my story, because I believe transparency and being honest. And you guys as men, I want you, part of my reason for being transparent is because I want you to know how to minister and live and love from a place of transparency with your wives and with your children and with people that you know you can trust, that you don't sit there like you some great macho man and got it all together. So it was a challenging time, brothers, but the Lord saw me through and has seen me through, and I'm really good now, you know. So there, we all are facing things and we're going through things, and you have to find a way to navigate and to pull through. Sorry, Deke, I didn't mean to take so long, but I wanted to really paint that picture.
No, I appreciate that response. I also just want to welcome Brother Ron Colley, who just joined us on the call. At this, you know, part of the getting together, I wanted to introduce some of the brothers that maybe everybody doesn't know each other as, you know, as close as, you know, we see each other, we say what's up, and we kind of come and go, but we don't all really know each other as well as some of you. I know most of you because I got a chance to know and spend the time. But I'm going to put Brother Michael Washington on the spot a little bit. Brother Michael Washington, you know, he's great. I always tease him about singing and let me use his voice, but it ain't going to happen. The reason I want to call him Michael Washington because I want him to actually introduce one of the new members in the church who's come out, been very active. He's done a lot of great things. He got some great ideas. And I'm asking him to introduce one of the brothers that some of you may or may not know. And his name is Angel Medina. So if you don't mind, Michael, because me and Michael were talking about something, and he asked me if I knew this brother. I said no. He said definitely get him involved because he's very active. He has a lot of stuff he wants to do in the community, a lot of ideas. So Michael, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about the brother, and then he can share with you what some of his ideas. Angel Medina. So Mike, go ahead and tell us a little bit about who this brother is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Brother Angel Medina. A good friend. He's a good brother. Actually, the previous church that I was at, Brother Angel was there. And Angel is a go-getter. He has, I told Deacon Derek when we was talking about Brother Angel, that he has a heart of gold. Tremendous brother. Angel is just, he's on another level. He wants to get stuff done, he gets it done. If you are a Batman, if you need a Robin, that's who Angel is. Who has your back. He's just overall good brother. I can't say enough about Angel. But Angel, me and Angel been doing stuff back in the day, from, oh my God, a whole bunch of stuff. Toy giveaways, Santa Claus, outing events, men's events and stuff like that. Angel is just, he's on point with that stuff, and we're glad. I'm glad to have him where we at right now with Bethlehem, Judah, because he's really going to be an asset to the church as far as that.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on what Mike said, like I said, when we had one of the couples events, and at the couple events, we get a chance to know each other a little better. And me and Andrew got to talking, and he got me in a corner, and we were talking about, well, what are we doing? What is men's ministry doing? And I told him some of the things we were doing, and he said, well, he had these ideas, and she had a lot of ideas. And then one Saturday, I was at the church helping out with one of the women's events, and he met me at the church, and he actually just jumped in. There was one of the tallest was stopped up on me, and he went and said, well, where's the bucket? He cleaned that up, and he had to bring some food up. He did that. He brought a whole bag of toys to the church. I put him upstairs in that little room upstairs. And this past week, we were talking. And I'm going to let Angel say a little bit more about who he is and what he does. He has some great ideas, and two of them we're going to implement. One of them was, in fact, I'll let him tell you what the ideas was, and they're actually in place, and get the rest of the men involved in it. And normally we would get together and talk about what we want to do, and then we would come to a consensus, like Pastor said at the beginning, because you're in authority doesn't have all the ideas and running the thing. I'm just kind of redirecting all that's going on. You
get my text?
Yeah, background. Just hit your mute button.
Come on, the thing died.
Anybody else? And so I'm going to introduce Angel. Angel, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit more about you, so some of the men who may not know you can know who you are, what you do, what you've done before coming to BJCF and in your prior church, and just tell us what some of your ideas on what we're looking to do, some of the things you're looking to do.
Well, you know I'm on the thing.
Somebody need to mute everybody.
Somebody need to mute.
Sorry.
Who that, Dwayne?
Yeah, that's Dwayne. Y'all text him and tell him to stop talking.
Go ahead, Angel. I think I muted. I hope I didn't mute you out. Sorry, hold on a second. You're still on mute. 1 second, Angel. That might be the phone I don't recognize with the number. Is that you? Angel?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
Can you hear me? All right, I want to say thank you to Mike for those kind words. Well, my name's Angel. I've been living in Elizabeth for a long time. We've been going to you guys' church now for a year. I'm not a member yet, but I've been going there for a year.
You remember. So, I think I broke the record, Bishop. It took me 4 years, so you're good.
So, I had this talk with Derek about the men's fellowship. And, right away I got excited because I can't stay still. I'm not that guy that just could sit in church and not do something. I'm used to being standing up, walking around, being at the door, looking, helping people. I don't know why I'm like that, but I just can't stay still. So I wanted to talk about the men's fellowship for a little bit and what it means to me. Some of the priorities that I feel as though should be implemented is, of course, learning the word first, right? We should always be growing in the word. Worship, helping our youth, and growing as brothers. And community work. Our meetings should always be productive. What are we going to do next? Let's not just talk about it, but let's get it done. So, with that being said, for the month of May, one of our thoughts was, I've lived in Elizabeth for 20 years and I've never heard of Bethlehem, Judah. I've only been around the corner from you guys for, 8 years? And I'm sorry, but I did not know. So one of the ideas was to get the name out in the community. Right now, at the fire department, restaurants and other groups are feeding the EMS units, our frontline workers. And they brought 4 ambulances from Florida, FEMA. So FEMA's out there working with us. And one of our ideas was to, introduce ourselves and feed them for the day. That's still in the works. I was talking to Hawkins, and he has to get this by the bishop. Of course, to get all these things done, we got to get our money right. So money right means we got to pay our dues so that we can get our money up and spend it. It's not about saving it. We got to spend it to do things. The second thing that we want to do in May is we purchased some masks and gloves. Now, we don't know if everybody in our church has these things. Maybe they can't afford it or they can't find it. We wanted to be able to help them, for the people that are in need of these things and get it out to them. We were still talking about the cost of it. Do we charge them? Do we give them out for free? We're still working on that. This pandemic should not stop us from doing work. We need to adapt and proceed cautiously, but it shouldn't stop us because we could always find a way around it, the safe way. That's all I have written down for now. If anybody got any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Brother Hawkins.
Yes, let me unmute some of the people. Go ahead, Bishop.
Yeah, Brother Angel, we appreciate that. And let me just make it, because I appreciate you being a part, and appreciate Deacon Hawkins for including you. That while you may not be official members of joining the church, you definitely attend Bethlehem, Judah. You're very faithful, you and your family. You're there every week, basically. So we want people to understand that while people are in transition, and while people are in a place of looking and feeling and making their decisions and allowing the Lord to lead them, as they plant their feet there with us, we want people to feel a part of us and be involved. We don't want people to feel like they've got to, the only way they can be involved to do ministry is to sign the dotted line, because we're in the kingdom. Those of us that are members, we feel led, this is home. Others are sitting and waiting. I think I saw it with TD on. Other people, many people have came and visit for a year or so before they felt that release. And when they felt that release, they joined. And most times when we operate that way, we have no transit. There's no in and out, because people haven't had a season to make that decision. So, Brother Angel, I just want to commend you for getting involved and not sitting on the sideline. I personally say thank you for not having the mindset to say, well, I'm not an official member there, so I'm not going to look to do anything. I'm ecstatic over the idea of feeding. I'd be honest with you, I've been trying to find out some connections to get something done. You could ask Sister Malika, different people. I've just been begging, like, I want to feed some people on the front line. What do we do? How do we do it? And so many other people were ahead of us taking care of that there was really no open doors. So if you know how we can make that happen, all I need is a date. On that element, the men can sponsor it, but we don't even have to wait for us to raise no funds for that. I want to get that part done immediately. So whatever day, if you can make that connection, and whatever day, next week, week after, whatever, we'll make that happen. We'll do it in the name of the men's ministry. And however we have to set it up, let them know we're there, and we'll roll with that, Brother Angel. And I really like the idea of the mask and gloves. And so once you guys do a little more research on that, let me know exactly how, because, maybe we can offer it to people, but, at a cheaper cost, but I do think that's really great, because it's going to be a part of life. We're gonna all need masks and gloves for a while. So I think it'll be great. So that was what I wanted to say. So thank you, Brother Angel, for jumping on board and being.
Yeah, I can answer some of them. I can answer that for you. The information is already there for you.
Okay.
Hawkins has it. I gave him the contact number, and we can proceed with that whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
The mask and gloves are already brought.
Okay.
We just want to advertise it, on the website or text or whatever.
Okay.
Whatever means you have of communicating with the rest of the church.
Yeah, that'll work.
They're available already.
Okay, yeah. I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right, just to give you an update, Bishop, I did speak to the gentleman who's in charge of EMS, Carlos Gomez, and he gave me the number of people, the address. What they do is they have two shifts of people, and they have a day shift and an evening shift. So if we bought them a meal, it would be around 4:30 in the afternoon. This way, the people that come early who may have lunch can get something to eat, and those who have the later shift can eat as well. Probably about 40 to 50 people that would cover. So just a matter of the details. We can do like over the next 2 weeks. They have availability. Just a matter of us confirming what we're going to provide. Whether we're going to have some of the men. We have a lot of men who cook, do it, or you pick a place. But they used to getting stuff from restaurants and places that are around it. So it'd be nice if we could bring something unique that they're not used to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk off the cuff about that. We got guys that'll cook. We'll get the food, and we'll do a home cooked meal, and that'll make us stand out. Find out what day, and we'll do a home cooked meal, and we'll get that over to them soon as we can. I mean, yeah, I'm like Tuesday, Wednesday next week will be great. Just let me know.
All right.
Okay.
So with that said,
and then we can talk off the cuff too about the glove, the mask and glove, and we'll make it work. Thank you, Brother Angel.
Thank you. So at this
brothers, I got another call. I apologize. I'm going to have to step out, but I appreciate you all. Love you, and we'll talk soon. All right.
All right, Bishop. All right, my brother. So we kind of covered what I wanted to cover for the call. We're going to do another call on May 15th, but we're going to probably the details will come out. Because one of the things that we have that we ramp up is the Bible study. We have Bible study every Sunday between services, but it really just have them in well attended. So this is an opportunity to, to get online and have each of the brothers kind of share their thoughts and grow spiritually. And I'll send out ahead of time what we'll be reading, because there's a book that we've been following that explains what the lesson is, and then everybody can get a chance to chime in and maybe lead. So I'm going to be reaching out to some of the brothers, just to lead the discussion, that you don't necessarily have to preach or be preachy, but just to, lead the discussion in lesson. So this opportunity, the line is open again for whoever wants to share anything with the rest of the brothers. Again, the most important thing is that we continue to pray that we grow spiritually, read the word, and stay connected. So the line is open. So anybody wants to chime in?
Yeah, I'd just like to say one thing.
Who's speaking?
During this pandemic, we've been,
No, I just wanted to let them know who's speaking. That was Burnout.
Yeah, Burnout speaking. We've been getting bags of clothes from the neighbors in the neighborhoods. I talked to Bishop on this morning, and he came up that we don't want to receive any more clothes from no one out of the neighborhood to bring them inside the church building, because we don't know if they're sick or what's going on with those packaged clothes and canned goods. So if you come to the church and you find bags of clothes on the porch, please do not bring them inside the building. Right now, we are discussing on bringing somebody in the building to sanitize the building, but that's got to be like a schedule. So don't look for that to be done next week. It takes time to schedule this thing, so it's going to take me a couple estimates. I just don't bring the first person.
I'm sorry, Deacon Gate was fall out the chair.
Oh, I just don't bring the first person in. I just don't bring the first person in to say that, okay, you have the job. So give us a couple weeks to get the right price and to get the right company, because everybody that's saying they can do the job maybe can't do the job. They're just looking to make quick money. So I was talking to Brother Gerald at the beginning of the conversation before we had started that I say next week. I just wanted to verify that to Brother Gerald. Give us a couple of days to get some good company in. I had a meeting with a gentleman on the phone today, and we trying to nail down some things. First thing, I'm trying to make sure that he's qualified to do the job, because I don't know him personally. I heard about him. He gave me a call, so I want to make sure he's qualified to do the job. So any package, please do not bring them inside the building, okay? Because it's a neighbor. Some neighbor, I have an idea what neighbor it is, but they bring bags of clothes, shoes, pocketbooks, canned goods, and they just leave it on the back porch because they know we have like a food drive at the church. So just do that favor for me, gentlemen, okay?
All right.
Done. Thank you.
So, Brother August.
Who's that speaking?
It's Marlon.
Hey, Marlon, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Hope y'all fellas all right. Just keep me in the loop as far as that food out to the fire department or whatever. I definitely can participate in that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Once we get the details, we'll ask if whoever's available to want to come by. We'll go by there just to drop it off, and take an opportunity to get the church name out in the neighborhood, and also just do the community work. So I'll keep everyone in the loop. We kind of just in the plan.
Deacon Hawkins, this is Brother Gerald.
Go ahead, Gerald.
Hey to everybody that I haven't spoke to. If at all possible, I know we are, we're in this pandemic, and I understand it. But in our prayer time, if at all possible, that we can actually really pray for Bishop. He's been going through, a lot of us don't know it, and a lot of us do know. He's been going through so much. He has a lot on him.
Yeah.
And if we can, we really need to take some time out of our busy schedules from doing somewhat nothing, and call out Bishop's name for prayer. Again, we just heard him tell us just a small inkling of what he's been doing, going through, and the whole nine. And if we can, we need to be his Joshua to hold him up. He's like our Moses. He's been going through, and he's, in the midst of everything, doing everything. He's running a church, almost running a jurisdiction, 20 some odd different churches, and all of these pastors passing away and members passing away. So he's running and ripping like a madman. And if we will put out, take some time out. I understand we're doing a whole lot for our families and our loved ones, but if we can take some time out and give, just send up some timber for Bishop on his behalf of what's going on and what's happening, I really believe strength would come to him at any given moment. Even though he's a praying man, but sometimes, just sometimes, we need some prayers from other people. The prayers of the righteous avail much. That's the Bible. And if we can go ahead and do some type of prayer for others, I really believe that at that moment, at that time that it's needed, I really believe that it would really be effective. And so that's really all I have to say. But if we can really do that for him, and not just for him, but for the church in general. I know a lot of people are going through, we need to make calls out, make sure that our other saints and our other friends are doing well and doing good. It's just sometimes just a little, I just want to throw that out and let everybody know I'm loving them, praying for you, and we need to also pray for our pastor.
Brother Gerald, can I chime in? I want to chime in with what Brother Gerald Miller said, because I totally understand what you're saying, because his responsibility right now is so overwhelming. And in fact, I'm covering House of Prayer in Orange, and it's really difficult. We really need to pray for Bishop Anthony Gilyard. The things that he talked about, even with Sister Cheryl Page, I went through with my own mother. And so and I thank God for the miracle that was wrought, but they were all in there at the same time. I even heard Brother Elijah Davis interviewed on the radio yesterday. So this situation is a little bit, it's extreme, and we need to hold up the man of God and to really take the pressure off of him. He's got a lot of pressure, and if he's saying the enemy is trying to even come in and even put fear in him that he's not even going to wake up, I understand, because him speaking tonight helped me to understand why my whole body was shaking for days. That pressure was extreme, and I'm sitting there, my wife really got concerned, because I could sit here and my whole body's just shaking with all of the pressure that has come in. So we're working with these churches, and we're working, whatever I can do to eliminate some of that pressure off of him. That's why I told him, I said, I'm going to cover House of Prayer. And because even Elder Keels, who was over the pulpit there, is gone. The superintendent is gone. We lost one of the church mothers and another one of the trustees. So 3 or 4 people have died, let alone the district that they're in under Elder Rogers. Well, Elder Burwell is the superintendent. He's gone. So, we lost a lot, but what Brother Gerald is saying is absolutely correct, and we need to uplift Bishop so that his stamina will remain and he can finish doing what he needs to do before a change comes.
I want to also say something as well. A lot of people didn't know our church mother, my mom, was really sick for 3 weeks. No one knew, you know, and when Bishop was talking about shaking and scared, not eating and not doing, I know what he's talking about, because the church mother, which is my mom,
right?
Y'all, I gotta say it like this: my mother was almost out of here.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for the grace of God, the prayers of the righteous, the prayers of the saints, literally praying my mom back to health.
Yes.
My mom, you know, she lost all of the weight. You know, my mom ain't but so big as it is.
Right.
But my mom lost so much weight, you can almost blink her to fall down. That's how small she got. But I have to say, if it wasn't for God's mercy and His grace, I almost want to cry now, because it really, you know, I didn't sleep for 2 or 3 weeks. For 2 weeks, I think I may have had every bit of like maybe 20 hours of sleep.
Right.
And for my mom to really go through what she was going through, at the time that she was going through it, I didn't even know it was that bad. But again, God saw her through it, and she's doing well. She's doing great. She's got an appetite back. She's cooking and cleaning and doing all that she does. But in the same token, we have to still keep our people. I gotta say it hard. Our people of Bethlehem, Judah, and others in prayer, because we don't know who's going through what. We don't know, because a lot of people aren't saying anything. So we need to lift up the hand of God. I mean, you know, we need to literally let people know that we got your back, and we need to continue to pray for people, because it's really bad out here. We want to, you know, they're talking about opening up the parks and the golf courses on tomorrow, because it's supposed to be nice out. We need to stay in the house. Stay your behind home.
Amen.
Stay home. You ain't gotta go, don't go. Stay home.
That's right.
So, but anyway, sorry, Deke. But, you know, it's just you know, some things is really really hard, and it hit home when it hit my house.
Right.
And then don't nobody really know that my brother Vincent and his wife, they were sick. You know, a lot of people don't know, but you know, we got to keep our people in prayer. I mean, you know, they were sick and we didn't know. But you know, I was calling, and you know, for days he wasn't returning a call, and then you know, you know, the devil started playing with your head. You know, he ain't here no more. He gone. You know, but you know, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. So we need to keep our people in prayer. Our bishops, our families, our loved ones. We need to keep them in prayer. We need to check on everybody. Let everybody know that we're still here. We got your back. We love you. We there for you. I mean, we need to do these things. I mean, as men, we need to step up and literally do what men's supposed to do. We're supposed to be the frontliners. So we need to do some of the things that we're doing. And, you know, I guarantee you, if we do some of these things, that we'll be blessed behind it. I'm sorry for taking up so much time.
That's all right. And I'm glad you said that. And just to be brief, Gerald, that's why I asked Bishop the question. I said, how does he maintain? Because I know, like I said, when I deal with just one death, you know, some family members, you know, my head starts spinning, and I'm thinking, okay, what if I had to deal with that 10 to 20 times?
Multiple,
And the thing is, it's not just that the number, but on a short period of time. You know, usually deaths are spread out. You know, you kind of, I got to the point where my Facebook page is like a cemetery. Every day or
every day.
Every day.
Like an obituary. I'm like, I'm getting numb to it, because it's like, okay, I'm expecting it almost daily.
I don't look at it no more.
Right. So what you said, Jared, every time me and my wife pray, we always pray for Bishop, we always pray for the church, we always pray for the couples.
Amen.
And every time we pray, we make sure we lift up Bishop, because I know that's why Chris Benson sent out a challenge a few weeks ago. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but he just asked everybody if they could, you just say something nice about the bishop and send it out or post it, a video or like I said, all that he needs, all the uplifting he can get, and I know it's overwhelming. So definitely appreciate that.
If Deke, you allow me to say this right here, after March 15, after we left the church, I closed down the church from that conference.
Right.
I came home. Well, I had a meeting at the church that Wednesday morning. I had some locks changed at the door. I couldn't even really deal with the man, the contractor. Right. I felt so weak in my body. I came home. All I could do is crawl in my bed.
Yeah.
Crawl in my bed. I stayed in my bed like 3 weeks.
Yep.
3 weeks. This night, I got so hot till I sweat my whole pajama set. I sleep in pajama sets, and cause I got girls in my house, and so I would train to sleep in pajamas, and I sweat my whole bed out, and my wife was in the guest room, and around midnight that night, my fever broke. It was like I told my friend on the phone today, it was like somebody took a bucket of water and poured it from the ceiling on top of me. And 9 o'clock the next morning, my phone rang. And I had a little strength just to get out the bed. When I reached for the phone, it was the bishop on the phone. And he said, "Son, you all right?" I said, "Sir, I'm not feeling good." He said, "I know, because you was heavy on my mind all night long." He said, what's the problem? He kept me on the phone. Bishop is a quick talker, but he kept me on the phone for about 30 minutes. He started questioning me, all these symptoms, and I was ignorant to COVID-19. I didn't know what the symptom was, and I'm still don't know if I had it or didn't have it. But I just wanted to say this. I thank God for having a real pastor, that God shows him things and that he goes in prayer for you. Because I believe the man of God went in prayer for me. I tell everybody, I don't care. I tell the sinners, I tell my family, I believe God showed me that night that he went in prayer for me, that he prayed enough for whatever was on me broke.
Yes.
It broke. I mean, it bothered me when I'm home. It bothered me because I'm trying to figure this thing out. I got so much time on my hand. I'm trying to figure this thing out. How the man of God know that I was on my way out? That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I felt like I was on my way out, and then that thing attacked my wife.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, it attacked my wife. She went down for 3 weeks. We lost our smell. We lost our taste.
Yes.
I couldn't move. And I kept saying to myself, God, Lord, what's going on? That's all I can say. But I called my sister when I got myself together. I said, "Sis, I don't know what hit me, but I thank God for Bishop Gilyard, because I believe that night when my fever broke, he called me like 8:30 or 9 o'clock that morning. And the first thing he said, "Son, you all right?" He said, "Because you heavy on me." And I just believe God was like showing him to go pray for me. That's all I wanted to say. And I always pray for Bishop. Every morning, every night, I always lift the man of God up, because I know what he's going through. It's not an easy task. Just handling that building and the thing that is on his heart and what he's trying to do to get the building ready for reopen and making sure everybody's safe. It's heavy. It's a lot on him.
Very heavy, absolutely.
It's a lot on him, and I'm 100% with Brother Gerald. We got to lift them. We got to keep the man of God up in prayer, and also each other. You know, there's nothing wrong with us getting on the phone and dialing each other's number. Say, "Bro, how you doing? You need anything?" If it wasn't for me dialing Deacon Miller, I wouldn't never know he was sick.
Yeah,
he was heavy on me. I called him up. His wife said, "We're not doing well." I said, "What's the problem?"
Right.
I said, "Y'all, the first thing I asked her, y'all need anything, just tell me. Y'all need anything, I'm here." And she shared with me, and I tried to do my best to get it to him. Because we can talk love, but talking love and not showing it don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
You know, don't mean nothing. And I'm not gonna say what I did, and what I did is no big thing. I just felt in my heart, my brother and sister needed me. I'm there for them. And I believe there's nothing wrong with, like Brother Derek called me. He said, Deke, I just wanted to hear your voice. You know what I mean? And he didn't even know I was sick. Brother Derek didn't even know I was, Deacon Derek didn't even know I was sick. He said, man, I just wanted to hear your voice. You don't know how good I felt when I got off the phone with him, just to know that somebody in the church was thinking about me, that I got a call from him, you know. So I'm done. We just got to get, you know, like shoot each other numbers, some kind of way, Deacon Hawkins, get each other number where we can call each other up, not just on this tape, you know, on the video, but you know, sometimes just call them up in the afternoon, say, bro, you all right? The family all right? Because every day is a challenge.
Yeah. What I can do
every day out here is a challenge, you know. And so let's do that, okay?
Yeah, in fact, what I can do, Deacon, I have everybody's number. So what I'll do is before I send it out, I'll ask everyone if it's okay.
Yes.
Permission.
Okay.
If they don't want to send it out, I won't include
It's
it.
okay.
It's all right with me, Deke.
It's all right. It's all right with me, Deke.
I'm the same way.
So that's important that we all share that. Brother Doc, Dwayne, were you able to connect the audio?
Yeah, I'm here. So whoever want my number is the one that got a phone symbol on it. So if you wanted to jot it down.
Yeah, I don't see it, but I'll send it all out. Like I say,
it's not on the screen. I see it on mine. So.
Yeah, so I'm sure most brothers don't mind, but I just always like to be respectful.
Yeah, you're right.
And act. So again, we still have time. Like I said, we have a unlimited account. I have an unlimited account, so usually they give you 40 minutes. So just want to give everybody opportunity if they want to share a word, because I know Brother T.D. Miller, I didn't realize he was going through something. Brother Deacon Emery was had the virus and recovered. Brother Ron was sick, but it wasn't from the virus. And then there's a young brother, Marcella's son-in-law, what's his name? Alan. Will Garner.
Wow.
As well, and he said for him, for 7 days he couldn't taste or smell anything.
That's true.
He had the symptoms, and even that week that Deacon said, I literally for 2 days I had chills. I just had chills and chills and sweats and headaches. And they just posted something recently said that those are some of the symptoms. So a lot of us may have a touch of it and maybe recovering from it. Others, so we all got to be cautious. So, anybody else want to share? Please feel free to, you can stay on it.
Yeah, I had the COVID virus.
I'll be here until I ain't got nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think almost everybody had a little symptom from the thing. Just maybe didn't get hit as hard. I was out of work for 3 weeks, but I was only sick for like 4 days. But I had the same symptoms as, like Deke said, one night I just took some Theraflu and I wrapped up in a blanket and everything. And when he said, I woke up in the morning, my whole bed and clothes was soaking wet.
Yes.
And from that point on, it kind of like, it didn't really, I never had the chills or nothing else after that day. But I guess I had a fever, but I wasn't able to get to no thermometer till like 2 days later. So when I was able to check my temperature, it was like 102. So it was like that for 2 days. And then after that, my fever broke, and then I never had that again. But the crazy part is, because I lost like 4 family members, of course I know more people who died. And my aunt and my cousin actually passed on the same day. My nephew father passed the next day, and then my aunt Shani's husband passed like a couple of days after. So that was just all within a few days. Well, 3 was in 2 days' time. So it was a lot. So like Bishop was saying, like a lot could wear on your mind when you almost in a paranoid state. And I'm not a paranoid person, but you be a little cough here, a little sneeze, and it's allergy season. But I went to the urgent care twice just to make sure that my lungs was clear from what they would check me by. And I have a nephew right now who's been in the hospital for maybe 2.5 weeks. that's still fighting for, try to get himself together. But I think the one thing that kind of saved him was his mom's. My sister wouldn't allow them to put him on a ventilator.
Yeah.
So he's on a CPAP machine.
Reason that seemed to be like a death notice.
Yeah, well, because if you have pneumonia, you normally develop pneumonia when you're not moving.
Right.
So if you're going in there with pneumonia and they put you on a thing and you have no mobility and stuff, it's almost, it ain't impossible because people came off, but it makes it very hard for you to overcome that. But so we do need to keep in touch with people, and not just in the fellow realm, just your sisters, like, because a lot of people are dealing with depression and stuff right now.
Yes.
And worried and paranoid and scared, and I'm hearing about a lot of people, not a lot, but few people committing suicide due to the fact that they can't handle all of the pressure of stuff of everything that's been going on. So we definitely have to be aware of, so that we know that lost somebody and how to handle it and coping with it. I wasn't even able to see my cousin. I was able to touch his casket, but we didn't have a funeral. We didn't have no viewing. We didn't have anything. We couldn't go into the cemetery. The only thing that we got lucky with was the fact that where they buried him at was street side, so to speak. So we was able to stand on the street corner to see them put him in the ground.
That's so true. That's one of the reasons I wanted to put this together. Even if just we can see each other, just don't have to be very formal, but just so we all know that we are right. And if anybody needs anything, reach out. Reach out to any other men. Don't have to be me. Just reach out to somebody and let us know, because some people are very private about what they go through, and they don't want to. As men, we tend to be. Our egos don't tend to allow us to ask for help. It's very easy for us to hide things and not share. So if you know of a brother that's going through something, reach out so we can reach out. Sometimes that works a little better. They know that like I said, we know each other, care for each other, and that's really what this is all about. You Block Rider, you're the youngest crew down on the line, Block. Anything you can share?
Block sleep, man.
Nice. All right.
Brother Ron Kaya.
No, I'm just relating to what everybody's saying.
Okay.
Something. I was there too. Right. I understand what everybody's saying.
Right.
I don't talk about it enough. I'm not talking about it no more. The Lord bless me. I'm good now, and I'm getting better.
That's right.
Amen. That's good.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Bless you, bro.
Amen.
Minister McCovery.
Amen, brother.
How you doing? I thought you had been traveling, so you're probably a little winded from being out. I said I know you was traveling before you got home and relaxed. Just wanted to
yeah. I was supposed to be gone. Yeah, I was supposed to go out to Washington. Yeah?
Right. You're still here, brother. That's all that matters. Hey, McCovery, I think you on mute.
Mute.
If you wanted to
unmute him.
Yeah. Some people actually muted.
I'm good, bro.
You good?
I'm just
okay.
on the phone.
All right. Miss Dow, Deacon Emery.
Hey, you hear me?
Hey, brother.
How you doing?
Good. Anything you
I
want to
had it, but thank God I made it through.
Yeah, that's right.
It's when I was in the hospital, they just sit you in a room and you have to wait for hours for a doctor to see you or a nurse to see you, and you just got to pray and keep the Lord, please keep me, because that's what I had to do. And it was real touching for a moment, because I couldn't breathe. I had to have oxygen on me 24/7. I couldn't walk a step without passing or just getting ready to pass out because of the oxygen. But God brought me through it, But like I said before, we just got to keep our brothers up in prayer, and especially Bishop when he's going through,
Yes.
I pray every day. I pray every day and call Bishop in the morning. My prayer, call Bishop's name after prayer, and and the rest of the people in the church, because this when you're going through something like that, you have to be cautious when you're going out. That's it.
All right. Then we got 2 or 3 brothers there, Michael Washington, Deacon Gatewood, and then we'll close out with Pastor Peterson. He looked like he's enjoying a snack. So we'll have him close out in prayer when he's done. Brother Mike, tell your wife we saw her walking behind you. Tell us,
Yeah, you know,
you can't be spawning the men's
I
call.
live with a private eye.
Nosy.
Yeah.
Right. Nah, I was doing something and she good. But she good. She good.
Right.
She good.
You want to share anything, Mike? You good?
No, I'm good, man. You know, I don't talk too much. I usually see me laughing or eating, so
laughing, eating.
That's me.
Brother can sing there. I'm working on my voice, but it ain't quite there.
You want to sing something? You want to sing something, then, Mike?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good, brother.
All right.
Who got left? We got
Right.
and there's a 973 number, but there's no name by it. 973 776-4558. Who's that?
That's me. That's what I was telling you. That's my number.
Oh, that's your number.
The Wayne Boone number. Yeah, that's my number. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
My mic on my computer went out, so I had to come through.
So we got Deacon Gatewood. Deacon Gatewood, we're gonna give you you got 2 or 3 minutes, Deacon, if you can make it. And then
all right, well, look, okay, thank you very much.
Hold on, Deacon.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hold on, Deacon.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I was gonna say, Deacon, after you speak it,
Make it short and sweet.
After Pastor Peterson close out with prayer, those of you who want to stay on and chat, you can hang out, as long as you want, just to chat and fellowship. All right. So go ahead, Deacon.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I'm very appreciative, Brother Hawkins, for how you got this set up. And I really appreciate the pastor coming on the line. It was very, I would say it was very assuring that the pastor was on the call. And I just would encourage each and every one of us just to continually hold up the man of God in prayer. He's going through a lot. And for God to keep him strong through all of this, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. We serve a wonderful God. I'm so happy to know that, a lot of the brothers were stricken with this virus, but God brought it through. I'm doing well. We're doing well here over in Irvington. We have a lot of cases breaking out all over Essex County, but God is good, and like I said, the brothers had been touched by this, and our church has truly been touched by it. And another thing I want to say, just be, like I said, be wary and well-doing. I was very concerned about my brother Vincent, and Gerald, thank you very much for that information that you had shared with us. And, the mother's doing well. And I just thank God for you men. For you men are truly end-time warriors, and you guys know how to stand up in the midst of a crisis. And we are truly going through a crisis. And it's just wonderful to know that we have the support of each other. And I am truly encouraged. And it was one thing that the Lord blessed me with. And there was a song by Timothy Wright and the New York Restoration Choir. And I've been looking for that song for like over 6 months because God put it on my heart. And it was one day that something had happened. Oh, me and my wife started going through the Bible. We started hitting Revelations. We hit it deep. And at that same day, God blessed me with that video I was looking for. And it's Timothy Wright and the Restoration Choir. And it starts out with a guy on an alto saxophone or something like that. And it's a collaboration of choirs all over New York. And it's been ministering to me very, very, very much. I mean, we're going through, my wife, she has, it's not the Pandora box, but it's another app that a lot of gospel music plays through. And I can't say it right now. I know her last name is Cobbs. and she's been ministering through song very well to us. And like I said, whenever you could come across these, and Brother Michael, man, we really appreciate you being on the call. You didn't sing us any music tonight, but just to know God has blessed you with that gift of gospel music is it's very touching. So like I said, I'm gonna make it short and sweet, and I'm good off right here and right now. But I'm just very, very encouraged the way this is set up, Brother Derek. I had some problems getting on earlier, but through your guidance and your instruction, I'm on, you know, I say in living color, okay? I put it like that. And thank you very much. God bless each and all of us. And we will make it through this. And just keep praying one for another. And be wary. Like some places, they want to open up their cities and they want to open this stuff, and we don't open that up. You know, just remember, this is just the beginning of what we're going to really be going through. So I don't care how much they say, oh, I'm opening this up, I'm opening that up. And just remember that you want to act as though you're going to protect the person you love the most. I have to say that, I'm getting off, but just remember to act as though you want to protect one you love the most. We love each other, but in that context, this is how we have to carry ourselves. Not just as men of God, but as just, you know, men and fathers, brothers and uncles, nephews and cousins. God bless each and every one of you guys. I love you all.
All right, Dick. Thank you for that. That
Yes, Dick.
that was a good 2 minutes.
Wood.
Yeah, so we're gonna have
In
Pastor
the house.
pray us out.
In the house.
And yeah, we want to thank you, Deacon Hawkins, for even letting us have an opportunity to even come in and have this kind of support by the men of God. Once again, God, we thank you for this time, that it was profitable, that it was meaningful. You let the brothers come together and share. We heard from Pastor. We are lifting him up right now.
Amen.
In the name of your son, Jesus. That
Yes,
you touch his physical body, that you touch his spirit, his soul, all of the heaviness and the weight of this matter of this day, Lord, relieve him in the name of Jesus. Give him the strength that he needs to endure so that he can finish this process. Touch each and every one of these men that represent homes and houses and families. Strengthen them. If they've been stricken or afflicted or even infected, touch their bodies right now. Give them complete healing. Touch all of those that have been affected by those that have been infected. And we ask you, Lord, to give us strength right now. Thank you for all the ideas that have come forth.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you for this organized meeting. We ask you to bless Deacon Hawkins and all of his endeavors and all of the men that are coming together. We ask you to bless, and be profitable, and that you get all of the glory. For it all the glory belongs to you. We ask these things in your mighty name. Amen.
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 Deacon Hawkins, I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow. I got a question for you, all right?
Sure, not a problem.
All right, sir.
See, Darren,
Everyone
you got
have a
something
good night.
for us.
All right.
Black Rider, what's up?
All right, brothers. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
All right, brothers.
Stay safe.
Love you
All right,
guys.
good night.
Love you, brothers.
Later.
Right.
All right.
Black Rider.
Yes, sir. Deke
What's
McCurry,
up?
I'm
What's
about
up?
to call you right. I'm about to call you right now. I'm calling you right now. I'm calling you right now.
All right, brothers, be easy.
Easy, brothers.
Easy.
How you get out of it? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there's an exit button in there. You wanna exit out. Mike Walsh.
Hey, Brother Derek.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm still on. I'm still on.
Okay.
That call was that was awesome. That was really awesome, man. It's got me burning up. It's gotten like, you know, churning and burning on the inside.
That's good, man. I was trying to share the tribute that I made to Bishop. You still there, Dick?
Yeah, I'm right here. Go ahead.
Hold on one second. I'm going to share something that I posted with to Bishop. 1 second.
Right. Okay.
Where have to go? Let me go find it first. It was Facebook. Facebook. So I see you figured it out. I see.
Oh yeah, yeah. I put it down on my phone. I got it on my phone, so it worked better on my phone than it did on the laptop.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Now you can actually set up, because what my wife does with her family is, like on a Sunday, what they'll do is they'll get on the Zoom, they'll talk to each other, they'll play games just to stay in touch.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So you can actually use it for that. Staying in touch with family. I did, and I do that. My mother, when I call, I told my brother to put the phone on Zoom so I can actually see her when I'm talking to her.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of things you can do. Having that app with the free app, you can do up to 40 minutes if you have the free app. But if it's just you and one or two people, you have a little bit more time. But if you do more than a group of people, then it becomes then you have to get one of their plans. So I chose to get the plan that allows me to.
Really? Okay. So you had the plan then. You had the plan.
Yeah, that's why I was able to stay on past 40 minutes. Otherwise, they would have cut me off right at 40 minutes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's a good plan.
Yeah, so it's a good plan.
It's really nice.
Let's see. I'm just looking for. I'm sure that Chris Benson sent out a challenge for us to go ahead and send send some to the pastor to say something positive about the pastor, something we love about the pastor, and share it.
Okay.
I'm just looking for the video. Give me a sec.
Okay. All right. I'm holding on.
Hold on.
It's a funny thing. My phone was dying as the conference was going on, and I was scrambling around trying to find me a charger that works. Because I was able to hold on to the very end of everything.
Right. Well, that's good. Like you said, usually there's like some things I told people to do before the call. Make sure the phone's charged up. Try to be in an area where there's no background noise. If you do, you just got to use the mute more. And
yeah, right. My son came in and showed me that, because he came down. He was on the phone using his speaker, and I was telling him to keep it down. So he saw I was on the Zoom call. He was like, "You can mute that." I was like, "I can," So he showed me how to do it.
So you can, and if somebody have a problem with their phone, they can still dial a number, and they'll still be at least connected by voice. And they, if they can't, this way you can see. And I can also control the mute function. Like, so if I hear background noise, I'm not sure what's coming from, I could just mute everybody except for the person that's speaking.
Right. And that was very good. Because I know, especially I think when Angel was speaking and Michael Washington was speaking.
Right.
There's a lot of background noise that built up. You was able to just zero in on the person talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where's my? Let's see, BJCF. Let's see. I can't remember what site I posted it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll speak to you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do this right now. Wait, let me see. Where's my Zoom? Share screen.
Yeah, there's a lot of men on the call too. A lot of men.
It was up to 15. One time it was up to 15. So I'm good, and you can share your screen. So if you got something you want to share with people, you can actually have it. Just waiting for it to pop up. I think because it's a video, it's a little longer. Where's my share screen? Okay, hold on. Share screen. This one. Where's my No, not that one. Hold
I
on.
draw a blank. What's the pastor who just prayed this out?
That's Peterson, Pastor Peterson.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of his name. His name is like right here on the tip of my tongue. I can't say it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pastor Peterson. Okay, give me 1 second.
Hello, my BJCF family. This is Brother Derek Hawkins. Just taking on a challenge that put forth by Minister Chris and Benson. But I don't call it a challenge. It's very easy to talk good about our bishop. He's a great man. And
Hold on, babe.
so it's not such a challenge. I can do this in my sleep. I don't want to just taking the word bishop and breaking it down in terms of how a bishop is represented. The B is for bad, bold.
Hold on. Okay, let's see.
B is for bad and bold. Now, who's that from Block Rider?
No, I just took the words and I just I just thought about things that remind me of
Pastor.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, all right,
Okay. Okay. I'm still learning how to add some things. If I can find my video.
Here's some things down here on the bottom as well. You can like start the video, you can share it,
right,
participate, and more. And then it goes on to say more.
Mm-hmm.
So and then